Welcome, Austin.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, of course, I've been telling you that AI is something that I've been very passionate about for long before it became a household term.
Yeah,
So, a bit of an admission that I was going to share with you before I hit record, but I personally don't like to show up for camera. And when I heard about your technology, I thought, okay, I don't have to put on makeup. I don't have to deal with the nitty-gritty details of, well, the script writing you still have to do, but there's a lot of production work. And I want to know, what was the catalyst that you're like, aha, I have to do this?
yeah, great question. So I've been doing video marketing and video production for about 11 years now, and there were a lot of common problems that kept coming up. My area of expertise came from working in the behavioral health space. So a lot of therapists, psychologists, addiction specialists, interventionists, you name it, in that space. And they are great talking to people. That's their job. They have amazing life-saving information in their head. But as soon as you put a camera in front of them and press record and tell them go, they freeze up. And it's an intimidating thing, right? Like the soulless black eye of the camera lens can be intimidating, and the knowing that this could reach millions of people or strangers, and the potential of them to make fun of you or say that you're not good enough, or all of these things that get in our head and prevent us from actually taking action on the things that can directly benefit us and help, in this case, save more lives, but get our expertise out there. And so that was a big part of the problem, is that um, how do you get that information out and still be able to grow your personal brands, and have that connection across the board there. And so that was one of the big catalysts that ultimately led me to creating Syllabi. There's like four or five core problems that led to creating Syllabi, like not wanting to be on camera, not knowing what to say, needing help staying consistent and accountable, maybe not having the budget, not knowing the optimizations and the titles and the whole nine yards there. And so I wanted to address all of those problems. And so we really went down the rabbit hole of what technology can help remedy those solutions while applying the best practices for what goes into a video marketing or social media campaign to actually grow your following and get inbound leads. I can dive deeper if you want, but that was kind of the original strategy and reasoning behind the creation of Syllabi. It's just to help people.
I think that's awesome. And you're right, there are niches of, I would say, professional domains where you will find someone who can talk very deeply, but the moment you put them in a situation where they need to be on camera, and it's funny because I've had people tell me, like, Shilpa, you're pretty confident on your podcast. I'm like, yeah, but you asked me about meditation and just talking solo into a camera, even though I'm an expert, I freeze up.
Yeah.
So another thing you addressed, and I'd love to go a little bit deeper there, is as someone who has her own solopreneur business, an entrepreneurial business, I just happen to be fortunate enough that I've got the technology forte. But for those who are new, they may know just say, I don't know, tapping, like you've heard of the methodology tapping, or something in that, or breath work. But they may not know that there's this whole world of social media in order to get engagement and get potential clients. And it sounds like you've addressed that in your solution for Syllabi. Can you go deeper for those who are novices for that?
Yeah, so I have a whole philosophy that social media is a search engine. People just look for information a little bit differently than they would on, say, Google. On anything that you are an expert in, there are people asking for that expertise and more information around that expertise. So going with your example of, say, tapping, we've integrated a whole discover ideas engine in there. And so you can search on Google, you can search on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram hashtags, Twitter, Facebook, etc. on it, and you can type in tapping or EMDR therapy or mindfulness or anything like that. And it'll show you a big list of all of the questions and topics that people are searching for online, as well as data behind it. So it'll show you, maybe 5,000 people per month are typing in EMDR versus tapping, or what are the benefits of tapping, or all of these things that are also indicators that they are in that awareness stage, that they're interested in pursuing this service, right? And so we present you with all of this topic information, the data behind how many people are searching for it, and then literally one click from there, you can generate a script that's designed and ready for social media, and then in another click, you can create a video. And it's really that simple. We've really tried to streamline it, and it's always an improvement from a UI UX design perspective to enable the non-tech savvy person to create content based on what their customers are searching for. But I think we've gotten it pretty simple at this point to just type in a service that you offer, find a topic that people are actually searching for, create a script that is going to resonate and performs well around that topic on social media, and then create the video however you want with your likeness if you want, or faceless videos is the newest feature that we have. So you can create content without even needing to have your face in the video or online, and they perform exceptionally well. You can clone your AI voice if you want, and sort of a deep fake. I know that has a negative connotation, but only you can have it on your account, so nobody can just take your avatar or anything like that. And you can really easily create content at scale for all of your platforms on what your customers are actively searching for. So we've tried to make it very simple.
And that is so powerful because for those who are listening, I just recently became a member of your Syllabi
Thank you.
app, and I am super excited for reasons like I don't always show up on the camera. But what I love, and I have not yet explored, is two things you just mentioned. There are multiple things though. One is that I can do a search like I would do on a search engine like Google,
Yep.
and mindfulness modalities such as breath work or tapping can be I can find a variety of, it sounds like I can find a variety of content within your database, and then
Absolutely.
create like the four stages of engagement, maybe going from awareness to taking action. That's really great. And then you mentioned, given that there's a negative connotation to the terminology, but I believe the essence is very useful, which is cloning of your voice.
Yep.
And I intend to use that technology within your platform soon. And the reason I'd like for you to share or elaborate on that is there is so much fear, even though now AI, perhaps to you and I, it's been around long enough where we understand its powerfulness.
Yeah.
There is a level of connotation and level of fear among a lot of people. I've even lost people when I started talking more about AI in my email list. And I thought, oh no, I I'm trying to help entrepreneurs. So maybe you can elaborate on the connection between your perception of authenticity and making sure that that is something that is accounted for as you engage in your content or your technology.
Yeah, we're still in such, all things considered, early days of AI technology and using it as a creative outlet. And this is very divisive. People are on both sides of this coin. Do I, if if I use AI in my content, does that mean that it's soulless? Does that mean that it is not authentic, that it is not me? And I think quite the opposite. I think this technology enables creativity. It breaks down the barriers to entry. A lot of the problems that that we've talked about on this podcast already. There's so many amazing individuals, not just in the mindfulness space and the behavioral health space, but lawyers, doctors, coaches, consultants. There's so many amazing industries out there, but people just don't have the time, the knowledge, the technological know-how to get that information out into the world in a consistent and more meaningful way. And so that is where I side on these things. And even like AI art and AI movies and videos, we could go down that rabbit hole of there's so many amazing stories that come from unique original ideas that have never seen the light of day because they don't have the budget of a major film production studio to get their idea out there in the world, or to create a social media video that they're comfortable with or ready with. And so it just enables that creativity and sort of breaks down the barriers to entry and makes it a level playing ground for anybody that's willing to embrace this technology. So to get a little bit more specific, so with the AI voice cloning and the AI avatar creation, essentially what you do is you submit 3 or 4 different audio clips that are 30 to 60 seconds or more. So it actually trains the AI on your voice. And in your specific account, you have to provide um, uh, consent that my name is Austin Armstrong. I consent to Syllabi to create an AI clone of myself that will only be available in my account. Like, we don't have access, nobody has access to it except for you. So you never have to worry about that. And the voice cloning is pretty insane, actually. It clones it almost immediately. That's how fast the technology is. So you submit 3 or 4 audio clips. Pretty much by the time you refresh the page, it's going to process and it's loaded into your account so that you can create content that sounds almost like you. Now, it is AI. It's not going to be 100% perfect. It is evolving. It's getting quite good. And so you can have that voice in and create faceless videos or any type of video. Now, with the avatar technology, we call them real clones because, again, like, deepfake has a negative connotation. But I think of it as a positive, productive use case to get your information out there into the world. And so a similar process, you have to submit about 5 minutes of footage, and there's detailed instructions in the app. And what it essentially does is it trains the AI on your body movements, your mannerisms, the mouth movements of pronunciations of specific words. And then, I always like to pitch it like this: like, if you hate creating videos for social media, what if you were able to just create one video and submit it one time, and then you never had to personally press record ever again? You could create a video that looks like you, moves like you, sounds like you, on topics that you feed in. So the topics, going back to authenticity as well, you can type in topics around your expertise. You can write scripts yourself, or you can use the AI script generator and then customize it. I always recommend customizing the script so that the jargon is how you would communicate. Add your own flair. Use these AI tools to increase your productivity and make it easier to be more consistent with creating content. So there's a lot of different ways that you can remain authentic in your content while leveraging AI. And I really think that you should, because this technology is not going anywhere. They probably and very likely will implement some regulations, and they should. I think there should be some regulations, of course. It can't just be like wild. That would cause more harm than good. But this technology is not going anywhere, and it's just more public facing. than it was previously. Like if you use Siri, you use Alexa, there are so many different forms of AI that we've already been using in our life for over a decade. At this point, predictive algorithms, if you listen to Spotify, the songs that it recommends that you listen to, if you watch Netflix shows or movies that we think that you might like, that's all AI. And it's only just becoming at the forefront of our awareness with these AI tools, because it's becoming so much more advanced, and there's so many more use cases for you to do basically anything at this point. But I'm done rambling there. That was a lot of thoughts, but that's kind of, there's a lot that you can do to remain authentic.
Oh no, you were not rambling. I was just absorbing it, going, there's so much that you're saying resonates with people that I know, as well as where our mindset is. Like one of the things you just mentioned was, well, it's been around for a decade. This was a conversation I had with someone just a few months ago when I started talking more and more about utilization of AI.
Yep.
And I had a friend on social media, and she said, I will never, ever use AI. And so I took that as a challenge. And what I did
Yeah.
was I went back to my roots because as I mentioned, I have a background in AI. And I did a little bit of research on the history of technology in the last 10, 15 years. And I came up with a talk, and it was on authenticity and AI. And I said in this talk, which I then shared with this friend, that under the hood of a lot of things that you use, AI has been the engine, so to speak, in different forms.
Yep.
So we may think it's just this entity, which a lot of people do describe it as like the thing, the AI, it's out there.
Yeah.
And it's like this monster, but I refer to it as the elephant in the room with the trunk and different parts. We're still trying to figure out what it is. And the best way to overcome fear is education.
Yep. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of fear around this stuff. I think it stems from fear of potentially losing their job, and not wanting to embrace a technology that is trained on other people's information. And I get that. I hear you, but I think it's important to embrace the reality of the world that is in front of us. And not everybody wants to hear that, but you know, the new reality of the world that we're entering is that AI itself will not replace you, but the person that leverages AI to do the job and be more productive and be faster and accomplish more likely will replace you. And so whether you like to use it personally is a different story than you knowing how to use these tools just for the sake of future proofing yourself and leveling up in the world that we're entering.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'd like to kind of segue into, which really is a foundational principle of a lot of what I'm doing, is helping people reconnect with who they are on a
Mm.
soul level. And not to sound too esoteric, but what is your why? And so I'm going somewhere with this, but Austin, let's start with you. What is your why?
Yeah, my why is very clear. I mean, I was fortunate enough to know what my true passion and calling is very early in life, and that social media marketing, as silly as it might sound, I stumbled into that at 14 years old, and through 15 years, no, 19 years, sorry, of consistency doing social media marketing. It has given me everything that I've wanted out of life, and made my life incredible. And I'm happy with the person that I am. And so my whole why is to provide people with the tips, tools, and strategies so that it can change their life too, if they're willing to learn.
And those tip tools and strategies really to me can be encapsulated in this terminology I often use called streamlining your life. The
Mm,
more you streamline, you're freeing up that energy. And now I'll get esoteric on people that we're spiritual beings, we're energetic beings, but there's only a limited amount of energy we have as humans. And wouldn't you rather channel that into your why? spending maybe more time with your wife or things that you enjoy. So same here, and this is why I feel excited that you are helping people if once they make that aha, that connection, that you're helping them really give energy to their why. Because
Mm,
you're giving less energy to figuring it out, being
yep.
scared, losing opportunities.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, with this new faceless video tool that we released, you know, content creators don't like old school content creators, not all of them love it. Because it's an easier barrier to entry now. So a video on, say, YouTube that would have taken somebody hours or days to research the topic and to storyboard and script it and to record it and to edit it and to publish it um, could take weeks to months. And now it takes about 5 minutes. And we're in the middle of this challenge. We've been talking about it, but these videos are designed and engineered based on human signals to perform well. It's not just like crap AI content. They're content that people are really interested in. That's why they're performing well for so many people. And it's helping change lives because what a lot of people want, I hear this all day, they want to be able to make passive income or make just some sort of income from social media so that they don't have to work that job that they hate, so that they can spend more time with their family and focus on alternative paths, focusing on their passions and their hobbies and things that bring them more enjoyment rather than just working a job so that they can support their family. This type of technology enables your creativity. And so we're already seeing people become monetized with these videos, which was a very difficult thing to do as a content creator. And so that's a whole nother thing that's just so rewarding for me is like, who cares how long it took you to make that video if people enjoy it and it's monetized? Like, isn't the thing about being an artist and a creator to celebrate the art and the work and the outcomes? I support every creator however they want to create. Most people create in order to make revenue, right? And so if we can make it easier for you to create in order to get revenue to support your family and have more time with your family, uh, who the hell cares if it took you a week or 5 minutes? So that's a big part of what we're trying to do is I just want, everybody, like my agency charges people 5,000 a month, which is expensive but you can go into Syllabi and for $25 a month, you can make 20, 30 videos that perform pretty well. And we offer free solutions as well. I mean, it's a business, that's a reality, right? There in order to provide these things. But like I don't know, that's just where my stance is just allowing people to have faster access to create content so that they can spend more time with their family.
And spend more time even enjoying the creative process because I have a lot of my friends are artists and designers, and I know that some are more savvy about getting their artwork out, and others are not so savvy and they suffer because if it's like if the tree falls in the forest but nobody's there to hear it, like if you make
Yeah.
people art but if,
Yeah.
if the word isn't out there it's hard for you. And I can say that as a solopreneur. And maybe you can even add to this, like before you got into the space where you were able to utilize a lot of the technologies, it is very difficult to wear all the different hats, like getting your email and then your
Yeah.
newsletter and your website and your socials, and it makes your head spin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one thing at a time. My process has always been figure something out, get really good at it, and then outsource it. So that I'm dangerous enough that I can delegate so that I can free up more of my time to do what I am most interested in. A great book on this I read recently, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Life-changing book, and that's only recently. Prior to that, it was like 4 Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss, that type of mentality. And so, yeah, it's overwhelming, right? But like to have, manage a YouTube, a TikTok, a Facebook, and an Instagram, a Pinterest, have an email list, have a course, have a email or lead magnet opt-in, the website, the SEO, paid ads, there's a million things that could be done on it, right? Just, slow down, do one thing at a time, do it for a couple months, figure it out, pass it on to somebody for less than your time is work, figure something out, like figure a new thing out, master it for a couple of months, outsource the work so you free up more time, and just rinse and repeat that same strategy. I've been doing that for years at this point. Largely at Syllabi, like, yes, I'm CEO, I have to do deep work and product manage and whatnot to some degree, but largely a lot of the business stuff is we hire for so that I can keep my hand on the pulse on social and lean into my zone of genius and what brings me the most amount of enjoyment and passion, and that's being a content creator. And so, like, now, like, I thoroughly enjoy still creating my own type of content, but with Syllabi, like, I'm running 4 different faceless channels right now, and I find it amazing. It's so fun. It's so fun to create. Now I can manage uh, 5 different channels on social media rather than just being able to manage one because of my time. Um, and we're growing more and more channels that way. I think as a team, we have about 22 different faceless channels that we're managing right now that we're growing because of this technology. Yeah, I don't know.
So you mentioned an expression that I have even on my wall here, the zone of genius. And that is something that for sure, like you were saying, you rinse, repeat, um, become a master and then delegate. I'm still learning how to do that. There's so many moving parts. But
Yeah.
when you mentioned zone of genius and then having multiple channels, what's interesting is that when I switched from corporate to wanting to become my own person, the desire was to really utilize how I feel like, which is multifaceted. And it feels like
Hmm.
by having these multiple channels, you are tapping into the multifaceted Austin. Like there's probably multiple things and you're able to now get it out to the
Hmm.
world.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, and just like interests and hobbies and fun things. Like, I think I'm fascinated by ancient history, so but I'm not a historian, so but I am interested in learning about all of that stuff. So I have an ancient history faceless channel. I was a bartender for like 9 years, and so I'm interested in cocktails and cocktail recipes. So I started a cocktail recipe channel. Yeah, different stuff along the lines of that. We have Marvel and like superhero channels going. I'm probably gonna, like, I train Muay Thai. I've trained Muay Thai kickboxing for many years, so and I'm a big MMA UFC fan, so I'm probably gonna start like a Muay Thai MMA page as well. And these are just, expressive outlets of things that I'm interested in and passionate about, and that I don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of time researching and doing all of the prep work. I can just, go in and make a video in 3 minutes and publish it. And it's very fun.
That is fun. Well, a little bit of a side note, my husband is like a mixologist. We're building a
Hmm.
vintage tiki bar. We collect
Awesome. Oh, I
vintage
love
tiki.
that.
And so yeah, I mean, so that's one of our many passions. We have like hundreds
Yeah.
of tikis in the house, and just
Wow, that's so
yeah,
fun.
I'll send you a picture. And so
Yeah.
yesterday we were just at a concert. We love music. That's another thing. So we were at the Spoons concert near our home, and I just really enjoyed the cocktails that we were
Yeah.
able to get. Like mixing and matching, and even talking to the bartender about, okay, where is this from? And there was
Mhm.
like this Israeli lemon liqueur that was so good. So it was fun, and
Oh.
I think it's interesting that you're mentioning all these interests, like Marvel, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, ours is. Star Wars, and we just got two
Love it.
kittens, and we named them Luke and Laura. Luke and
Oh,
Leia. Luke and Leia.
Leia. Yeah. Awesome. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. Well, Austin, is there anything you'd like to share about your vision? I mean, the sky's the limit, and I feel like this has really invigorated my creative energy. And I think there's others, and I'd love to have you back in the future if you want to go even deeper into
Oh, sure.
area. But what is your vision of not beyond just syllabi, but other things that you want to create?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I just want to completely remove the barrier to entry to social media again, because that is my entire why. I did the agency thing for 10 years. I've done a lot of coaching, and now it's just taking all of that expertise and turning it into a software to make it as readily available and accessible and easy to use to as many people as possible. Like I would love to help 1 million people create content on social media in a meaningful way for them. So that's the goal that I'm working at right now. My wife and I are big travelers, and so that's what my like sort of uh internal why, not out facing why, is to just have an amazing life with my wife and my dog, and just travel the world and see as much as we can. And so just yeah, just continue to grow I say that because I've largely accomplished a lot of the goals that I set out to. So it's almost hard to know. Like I wanted to be a paid professional international speaker. I am. I've accomplished that now. I wanted to be a SaaS startup founder. I've accomplished that. I wanted to get into real estate investing. We own several homes. Um, so now it's just I'm very ingrained in what we're doing now to help and inspire as many people as possible. But I am very blessed as well, and very fortunate that I've honestly hit a lot of the life goals that I set out for myself 10, 15 years ago.
And I don't know your age, but you look so young, and
Thank you.
I feel like you've already probably done so much with your life. That's inspiring for so many of us. We need to hear that, and I believe, based on what I know about you so far and what you've said today, that you've got this very attitude of gratitude that's really it, it's it's helping you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that definitely comes from my mom, I guess. I've always been a pay it forward type of person. And that one of the most important, marketing lessons that I've ever learned is to just give your best information away for free, which sounds counterintuitive, but I've just been I don't know. I've been fortunate to be around positive people in my life. My business partner has been a mentor to me. I was, fortunate to have found him who's paid for my personal development and training and has sent me all around the country. And I'm very thankful for him. And I'm thankful for my mom and, just, holding on to anger and hate doesn't do anything, and jealousy, right? Like you get such a much more warm, bubbly feeling of paying it forward and just helping something out and not asking for anything in return than you do holding something in and saying, no, I worked for this and I'm the only one that can have it and nobody else can have this knowledge and expertise. Like I don't care. Like there's, law of reciprocity there that kicks in and I understand that and know that. But like even if it doesn't on an individual level, like if I can help somebody achieve their goals because they've watched how I grow on social media, and they just send me a message that's like, thanks man, that was awesome. I took action on what I learned from your free content, and now I'm in a great position. Like that makes me feel great. And like that's how it always was for me to come up. Like everybody starts at zero. Everybody is on a learning process. And like particularly the marketing community. We were talking about Mari Smith. Love Mari. I've learned so much from her. And I've had a couple instances to meet and interact with her at Social Media Marketing World. She's amazing. The marketing community is so supportive and helpful. Um, I've learned and have become friends with so many of the people that I attended conferences with and listened to their podcasts and read their books and watch their content. And now I'm good friends with many of them. And so you can accomplish anything, but yeah, you have to, be gracious in everything that you receive. Put that back. I was into Bob Proctor for a little while, and um, what did he say? Basically put out into the world what you want and graciously receive. Ask and graciously receive.
I agree. And again, when I air this will be either in my season of what I call pause, or energy awareness. And the reason I tie it to a theme is that I feel like energy itself is there's so little of it sometimes, but if
Yeah.
you can level out the barrier to entry and the playing field. And one of the things that's a guru in our field, the marketing world, has said to me was that with technology, with AI, with social media, it's not like that person, like when you're in corporate or other realms where that's the competitor. It's no longer, they become your collaborators then,
Oh yeah.
because we all have the same tools now to
Yep.
grow.
Yeah.
And
I love the term coopetition,
oh,
not
nice.
competition.
Co-opetition.
Coopetition. We can cooperate.
I love it. I love it. Well, Austin, you have a fan in me, and I really genuinely hope that once I go deeper into using your technology, I'm part of the 30-day challenge, and
Woohoo.
I'm posting on my YouTube a series of videos on technology, authenticity, and even mindfulness. And I think that you have a gift, and
Thank you.
I'm just happy to see where you're going with all of this.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, and I hope this episode has helped people.
I believe it will, and thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.